On September 23rd, 2012, Jamie Rodmeyer, age 14, committed suicide due to being tormented and mocked and ridiculed at school for being gay. On September 23rd, 2010, Asher Brown shot himself in the head from being tormented, mocked, ridiculed, and harassed because he was gay. On October 17th, 2006, Megan Meir hung herself in her bedroom from kids at school telling her every day that they hate her. Jasmine McLean, a young, small, dark-skinned 10-year-old girl, committed suicide by hanging herself in the garage due to being heavily bullied and mocked at school. We live in a world where bullying in school is on the rise, where people are ridiculed, mocked, physically beaten, simply because of who they are. Bullying is real, and it needs to stop. But I could sit here all day long talking about bullying and how it needs to stop. But what are we going to do about actually trying to make it stop? I was homeschooled for the majority of my life up until college. During this time, I never attended public school, but I realized that if I had attended public school, I would have been deeply bullied. In fact, ironically enough, I was bullied in church. Between the ages of 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and up to around 15 years of age, I was ridiculed and mocked at church by a specific group of people simply because of my speech impediment. Many people say to bullying victims just to ignore what people are saying about you. But you have no idea being stuck in an environment where you can't change and you can't get out of being bullied. You are in an environment that you cannot control. You can't escape being bullied. I tried to brush it off my shoulder just like everybody told me, but over time the words that were said to me started to affect me. I started to hate myself. I started to think that I was different, that I never could fit in. And believe me, I tried fitting in with this group that was bullying me. But over time I realized that I don't need to gain someone's acceptance of me in order for me to be myself. See, bullies prey on the weak. They prey on people who can't defend themselves. They prey on people who have low self-esteem, who are struggling with trials or deep issues in their life. If there's one thing that angers me more than anything, it is the powerful preying on the weak and innocent. And that essentially is what bullying is. There's an entire psychology behind bullying, which I will get into in another video. But I mainly want to talk about the power of bullying and what it can do to young children and teens. More and more suicide is occurring for homosexuals because they are mocked, ridiculed, simply because they are gay, simply because that is who they are. This is not only wrong, but it is taking innocent lives. One of the biggest problems with bullying is that the victim of bullying typically has no close friends to reaffirm who they are. To say to them, you are beautiful for who and what you are. That you are accepted for what you are. Whether you're straight, bisexual, or gay, no one should have to endure being mocked and ridiculed for their sexual orientation, for a speech impediment, or whatever the case is. They should not be looked down upon for it. But how do we stop it? How do we stop bullying? How can we make an impact for schools? And instead of having people take their lives, we have people who want to rise above and make their life worthwhile and valuable. Something that I found among victims of bullying is that they usually have low self-esteem or depression. They don't have a whole lot of confidence about themselves. They don't accept themselves for who they are. But more importantly, they hate who they are because they're looked upon as being different. They're looked upon as being weird, strange, ugly, bizarre. I know what that feels like, and I can tell you that if I had had someone close to me during that time in my life where I was being bullied at church for who I was and struggling with speech, I don't think that I would have struggled with depression and low self-esteem like I did in my later teen years. I had no one close to me. But most of all, I had no one who reached out to me to tell me that I was beautiful for who I was and that I should be accepted for who I am. No one, absolutely no one. And this was at a church. My point in telling you this is this. We victims who have overcome bullying, we need to be reaching out to those people who are being bullied right now. We need to be reaching out to those people who are gay and showing them love, kindness, and acceptance for who they are. We need to be defending these people because one person can change someone's life. One person can influence that person's life. You and I can save people's life. All we have to do is reach out to those who are in need. To reach out to those people who are not being loved. To reach out to those people who are not being treated right or correctly. To reach out to those people and love them for who they are. Victims of bullying need to be able to build self-confidence because that is one of the bully's greatest weaknesses, is if their victim has confidence in who they are, they will stand down. Bullies evolve at a young age. Typically, parents don't raise their children correctly. They don't address the aggressive problems within their child at a young age. So therefore, when those kids get older, they take out that aggression on the weak, on the innocent. And in doing so, and in many cases, takes people's lives, innocent lives, young children's lives, ages 10, committing suicide over being mocked for who they are simply because of one person influencing their life for the negative. It is our job and responsibility, ladies and gentlemen, to reach out to these victims and influence their life, not in a negative way, but in a positive way. A way in which they will build their self-esteem and be able to stand up with confidence, because what it ultimately boils down to is aggressiveness versus assertiveness. When I was young and being bullied, I had low self-esteem, but I eventually came to the conclusion in my own life that I had to be assertive and stand up for myself. I still remember the day that one of these bullies that I was hanging out with, because I wanted to fit in so badly, mocked a female at our church by comparing her, because she was slightly overweight, but I remember distinctly what he said. See that girl over there? Her fingers remind me of sausages. There he sat, chuckling and laughing away as he mocked and ridiculed someone for their body, for who that person was. This was the moment that I implemented my assertiveness, and I approached him on this issue and I said, "How dare you degrade and disrespect someone, and is that degrading of who that person is? Maybe that person has a disease, maybe that person has a weight problem, but to mock them, to say that to their face, that is so wrong." And I said this to his face, and he looked at me, smiled, and laughed. What this message ultimately boils down to is that there is power in bullying, but more so, that there is power in people who reach out to others and show them love and acceptance. Bullying is negative. Reaching out is positive. Which one are you going to choose? Most importantly, though, be yourself. Accept yourself. Love yourself. Because when you do, you will be able to stand for yourself and have the confidence to assert that you are valuable and that you are worthwhile, and that no matter what someone else says, specifically a bully about you, you'll rise above and you will become a stronger person because of it. We need to stop the hate on homosexuals, the hate on people who struggle with depression, but more so the hate just because somebody's different than us. Reach out and love those people who currently feel that they're unloved because of bullying. Down below in the description there is a link to where you can buy this shirt. Be yourself. This organization is known as WeStopHate, a non-profit organization specifically designed to stop the hate and to stop the bullying of young children and teens. On that website you can buy bracelets, Be You, WeStopHate, organizations designed to help those and accept those who are feeling bullied, hated on, or unloved. WeStopHate also has a YouTube channel which I would highly recommend, but in summary, bullying has power, but reaching out to others saves lives. I will eventually be releasing another video on the topic of bullying, going more in depth on understanding the psychology of bullying, but if you are currently undergoing depression, low self-esteem, self-hatred, self-harm, I would strongly like to recommend one of my videos that I made titled MrRepzion Rises, The Truth Will Set You Free. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I am Daniel Sulzbach, also known as MrRepzion. Peace the rep out, and by all means, let's reach out to those who are in need.